Do. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, said to me. All the way down. Good morning to no one, because that's who's here. Now we got 2 people. We got some more people coming into the life. Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday and good morning. Whoa, Jesus. If I don't stop spinning this thing around by accident, Lord. Hello, Patrice. Hello, the Friday Fairy. Arch brows and perf flips. Hi, Charles. Hey, Abby, I'm glad you're here. May I try find it? One something I did put up on Twitter. I think I did put up one up here because we got I think I said Twitter, but I really open Instagram because I'm really an Instagram person. Right? Hey Ayala, hey Marcia Marie, how is everyone doing? Hey King Cooley, when you come in, just tell me how you're doing. Let me hear from you. How your life feels, what your quality of life is, how your week has been. No, hi, yes, hi Alex, hello. On the time I want to stay, I want to feel ya. I know say before we talk about anything else as a family, we have to check in with one another. Now ask me how. Me have this live at 10 o'clock. And like 7 minutes before me don't be it yet. Hi Abby. How you doing? How you feeling today, sis? Tell us how you feeling. Alex, I'm glad you're here even though you're frozen in the cold. Yes, rough week, but I'm glad to still be alive. I understand that feeling intimately. You still asleep? Me no know. Well, you know what? I understand that. I have deep tired in my body sometimes, so I completely understand. Oh, bless up. No, but that's the beautiful thing about social media, right? Because you can depend on the people them job and still I watch the live them, which is what I expecting it to do. Hey Dessa, that's what I expecting it to do. On Tuesday, when I come on live. I'm coming on live on Tuesday. Hey Marlon. This week has been stressing. Didn't want to be at work. I was feeling sick internally. I couldn't understand the wife lottery. I understand that feeling, right? I've been sick and having to be at work. And it's rough because it's like you have to measure out the sick days them. Right? I have to measure out the sick days. And especially when I talk to like people who are parents, and them I say, boy, them have to use the sick days for when them picnic get sick, and when them get sick, them carry themselves go to work because them cannot take the sick days off for themselves. Hey Jodes, anxiety I beat me bad and I had to work. People, the inner area really a draw way out. It really a draw way out. Right? I understand about the anxiety. I understand if people have some little depression flare up right now. I understand if your body don't feel physically good. The whole of we I got through it. I don't know how what, but the whole of we is going through it. I need a 6 month, twice a year. Alex, you don't want to go to work. And you know what? It's fine. If you don't want to go to work, then you have to just invent something so that you don't have to go to work anymore. A lot of us have been dealing with it. A part of it is the seasonal change, which people love to throw shade at Jamaica and be like, we don't have seasons and they don't have no season. I'm like, me did have to put on one scarf recently, so we have seasons, right? Maybe somehow nobody cannot recognize the change in the season because nobody tough and it cannot recognize small changes, but we have seasons in Jamaica, right? If nothing else, say nights are coming on fast, no? So the seasonal changes will affect your mood. If you tend towards depression, it will cause you to have depression because there's a longer period of darkness and all of them type of something here. The time get cold, Christmas breeze. I have to be putting on my sweater now. Granted, it's not now, but there's a distinct chill in the air. But so my body very formidable and all of them something there. A lot of people have anxiety, and anxiety will flare up now because this is a period of busyness for a lot of us, right? A whole heap of we have projects and deliverables what we have to get done before the year ends. And the interesting thing about this, and it's on both sides. Oh, thank you. I like my earrings too. The interesting thing about this on both sides is a lot of times when we are bosses, we will kind of kill up the workers to get things done before the year changes. And a lot of times as workers, we will really, like, the bosses want us to finish these things before the year changes. But the fact of the matter is, if it doesn't launch a new financial year, then you don't. You know what I'm saying? Hey, O'Brien, like, people could literally turn in the work in the first week of January and it will get the same exact thing done. But a lot of us are very pressed at this time of the year because we need to finish off things and turn them over before the year changes. And I mean, it's because we want that feeling too, right? To want when 2020 come, then everything done and you start the year with a fresh start and your plate is empty, and then you can choose what to take on in 2020 instead of, you know, what it is that you have to carry from 2019. And I get that. But it can also make the end of the year very, very, very stressful, especially given the end of the year right now, things are about to become real shaky bakey. So there's a whole heap of pressure at work, but also we're brain like it has sweep over. Like, of all of us now, we are starting to go into the Christmas party season. Shaky bakey. People are coming into work drunk. Offices are closing. You never know which business is going to be closed, which day, half day, and whatever, because Christmas party. So you are trying to get everything done, but Christmas party season is upon you and everybody are locked down them place because they have them Christmas party, right? You are trying to get everything done, but your body is literally telling you, go lie down. Go and lie down. You have little equinox and the solstice and all of them something there. Everything in your body is telling you this is a time of rest. When them tell you the story of Jesus, the people them say, well, actually the story of Jesus is kind of in a reverse, because this is the moment when actually Jesus did for dead, and the time when we have it when Jesus did, at them the time that Jesus should have born, because actually the story of Jesus is like the story of the Son and type or something, right? So everything in your body is telling you that you're supposed to go slow right now, but this is a time when we are all rushing because of how we count our lunar year, and this is the end of the year and we want to finish things at the end of the year. May I ask you if you please take time with yourself. Please take time with yourself. Me know say right now at the time when it's not the time when everything in you is telling you to rush. It's the time when everything outside of you is telling you to rush. But if you should actually pay attention to your body, this is the time when your body is telling you to rest. So please try to find some type of balance between the rush that the outside world wants you to do and the rest that your inside world wants you to do, right? If your anxiety is flaring right now, please remind yourself, in most instances, nobody is going to die if there's something don't end in by December 28th, whenever it is, right? Or the 24th or the 23rd. Try to hit your deliverables. Do your work, because we have to do our work, but let's try to be fair. And also, if you're in a position where you're an employer, please be mindful that some of the stress that you might be putting on your employees is fabricated, and they can actually finish that in the first week of January, right? Exactly. As a teacher, it's the time when work turn over, because me still have my student them paper them when me need for mark and give them back. And also the exam paper them are going to start coming fast and furious, right? So we are really feeling like we're rushing against the clock. So the new year is coming. Okay, that new year. You also know the Chinese New Year is not when we are celebrating New Year. Some people say the New Year is on their birthday, right? So understand that even this idea of the New Year, it is a social construct. Yes, we're living inside of it, but the idea of the New Year is a social construct, right? It's because of the actual calendar that we're working on. So let's all slow down. Also, please pay attention to yourself, because depression is going to kick out your teeth because the place dark and all of them something there. So just do a little thing for make yourself feel nice. Try to do your stretches in the morning. All the something that you need to do for make sure so you can keep your sanity together. Please do it, right? Because we're not trying to go in. What do we want the best for the end of the 2019, you know? But sometimes we stress out ourselves so much by the time we're going to 2020, we're done tired already. You reach and the year start and you don't put so much pressure upon the year, you're tired. But remember how we did usher out 2017? When 2017 was ending, oh honey, we did at feed. 2017 need to go because 2018 is going to be my year. So 2018 start, and for the first 3 months, 2018 we had a lavish up myself, and then 2018 did what? It was just a year. And by the end of 2018 need to go. 2019 is going to be my year. So 2019 come. And for the first few months of 2019, we exalt up ourselves. Then 2019 did what? It went ahead and it was a year. So now we're ready for 2019 go, because 2020, well, let me tell you something. And I'm going to kick your teeth out. But you know, I know that sometimes I do look at a woman thing them, right? I read look at tarot card people them, something them. Well, the tarot card people them say 2020 is going to be a pressure cooker because 2020 is going to be a year where all the things are change. They're changing for the better, but it's gonna feel terrible when some of them are change. So then, what I'm saying to you is this: set your expectations around 2020. Expect that it's gonna be great, but it's also not gonna be easy. So if 2019 was pressuring you, in 2020 only some of the water gone off and the pressure is even higher. You understand what I'm saying? Anyway, the other thing, I'm glad that we're here as a family so we can talk about this. So I am partnering with AIDS Healthcare Foundation for World AIDS Day this year, right? If people know me, then they know that work in HIV is very important to me because that's actually where I started out working. So the second job that I get, the first two jobs that I got coming out of UA were being personal assistants to people. And that's actually would have been where I met Odessa. And then the next job that I got was working at the Ministry of Health in their HIV program. It is working in HIV where I recognize that I had a passion for advocacy, where I recognize that I had a passion for gender work, all of those types of things. So it feels good for me. It feels like a homecoming to be at a place now where, I'm back in Jamaica and I'm working and I'm doing a lot of HIV related work, right? So like working with the Family Planning Board to develop the adolescent HIV testing and counseling manual, training healthcare workers to offer service to LGBT community. And now, I'm doing kind of like a media partnership with AIDS Healthcare Foundation for their Western Regional Health Authority World AIDS Day event, which is happening in Sam Sharp Square. So of course, Sam Sharp Square going to be one big thing. So there's going to be HIV testing. There's going to be a lot of booths there with information and resources. Generally, if you go to a World AIDS Day event, you can expect that you are going to get a lot of free things because people like to come with the free things and give them to you, right? So Jamoki just come in here. So the World AIDS Day event, which is happening on December 3rd, which is Tuesday, in the middle of Sam Sharp Square, I'm going to be there and I'm going to be inside of what they call the chill spot, right? So Jamaica's HIV response is not new. We've been responding to HIV for plenty years because HIV popped up in Jamaica in the early 1980s. And one of the things that they try to do is try to find ways to get young people involved in it. So how is it that we can get young people to test? Because adolescents are particularly at risk. See, Jane Plus is going to be there. Hi, Jamoki. So we try to find different ways to get adolescents to test and try to find different ways to get people to be comfortable with it, to actually normalize HIV testing. Because to be frank, health check should be a normal part of our lives. But even when people know that they're going to check them pressure and they're going to check them sugar, we feel that we want to do the HIV test, right? We get up in our feelings and we get nervous because we feel like if we hear so we're positive, then we're going to fret and dead and all of them something there. Hey, Arlo. Right? We feel like we're going to go and dead. When we go do the research with the young people them tell me, say, Miss, me not going to get the test because me go live, if me find out me go dead fast. Because them say I'm going to fret and dead, right? Hey, David, so we have to normalize it because I better you know your status. And when you know your status, then you can move into your life. If you're positive, then you're moving on your positive life. If you're negative, you're going on your life. You try to stay negative. We have a little medication now. If HIV is undetectable in your body, then it is untransmissible. You can't transmit it. And them stuff, they will come far. It's not in the same place that we used to be, right? So, I'm going to be there and I want you all to tune in. Right, so this is this Tuesday, 2 p.m. I'm gonna be there from about 1:30, and if you don't watch my stories, you'll get an idea of what's happening because I'm gonna shell down the place, right? But at 2 p.m. I'm gonna go live and I'll be doing interviews with the booth holders. I'll be doing interviews with any government ministers that come through. Whoever comes through, I'll be talking with them. So you can find, I'm gonna post the flyer. After this, the flyer is in my feed though. So when you look at the booth holders, if there are any questions that you have for any of them, come with a question them on that day because they're going to be there. Also, if there's anything that you want to discuss pertaining to HIV that you feel like you need an expert for or whatever. Otherwise, Marita, I want my family to be there. I want you all to be there with me. So that we can just kind of share and talk to each other on the day. And I want you all to get the opportunity to talk to the people who are going to be there. And also to just be there with me because it's momentous for me. This is kind of the first time I'm doing like an official thing through my IG page, which is an accomplishment for me, right? So, I know, say plenty of out there. We're making certain health decisions for ourselves due to our emotional state. Primarily because we're in love, right? Love is nice. And love is hot, and love is sexy. And love makes you feel every type of way. And primarily what love makes you feel is that you don't need to use the condom. Hi, Candice! Right? That's what love makes you feel. Love makes you feel like you don't need to use the condom. So I was throwing some shade the other day because a picture came up on Instagram and it was somebody who them did have like some olive food that floating in them bathtub and they were like, oh, this is goals. And people were like, Lord of God, would I never ever put up that? Yeah, you gotta eat food in the bathroom. That nasty my food can't touch bathroom air, whatever. Right? And we're ready for chase off people them because people never eat the food in the bathroom. And I said, oh, okay. No, I'm not married. I'm deliberately single and it is really quite beautiful. I am enjoying it. I like it, right? I'm gonna say, but you know what? We're actually quite hypocritical because there are those of us here who would not eat food that has been in the bathroom here, but yet our toothbrush is sitting down in the bathroom all day, every day, uncovered. And then we're going to take up that same bathroom toothbrush, push it in our mouth, and just start using it. Most of us, because of the way our bathroom is set up, the toothbrush is either located straight across from where the toilet is, or it is located right beside the toilet, which means that so most of us are finicky around bathroom here because of the toilets and what we think comes out of the toilet, right? And we feel like when you flush the toilet, all of these things come up because some of us don't put down the lid, all of these types of things. You are finicky about having food in bathroom air, but your toothbrush is living in bathroom air all the time, and then you're just going to take your toothbrush up and you're going to put it in your mouth hole and do whatever you want to do, and you don't feel any way about it. First of all, that doesn't make sense. Second of all, there are those of us who are very finicky about our toothbrushes because the toothbrush always have to be in the antibacterial cover. Now, peepr, usually I just wrap up my toothbrush in a one piece of toilet paper. Now, granted, that makes no sense because the toilet paper sits right beside the toilet, and then I'm going to take that and wrap it around my toothbrush. But if I'm feeling fancy and I want my toothbrush to have a travel case, I'm going to put it in that. Why am I going to buy one toothbrush other than toothbrush come with a built-in antibacterial cover? And then I went and saw that these are things that you can just buy at the pharmacy. You can buy yourself a little 3-pack of the antibacterial covers, and you can just snap your toothbrush into just the head alone, not the whole toothbrush, just the head alone, and has a little hole to let the water out and all of those things. Some of us are very finicky about those things, but we are putting unsheathed penises and vaginas into our mouths. People, we have to find a way to do better than this. Now, I understand that the skin-to-skin sex feels nice. We can't deny it. Nobody's going to deny that. Nobody's going to sit here and tell you that skin-to-skin sex don't feel good. But also, given some of the ways that we want to have sex in Jamaica, it is definitely not in our best interest to be having skin-to-skin sex. For example, if you should listen to the lyrics in Spice's song, Cool It Down, she's telling you everywhere that you're supposed to destroy your vagina and that she's going to sit down on ice and cool it. And in the event that you do those types of things to her vagina, you don't think that there's going to be exchange of fluid and perhaps bruising? The type of hammering the nail sex that we like to have in Jamaica, the type of make me sit down in a pan of salt water sex that we like to have in Jamaica, the type of the neighbors are wondering if we are fighting sex that we like to have in Jamaica. If we want to do it safely, we should definitely be using a condom. Definitely be using a condom. So let's talk about that. Hey, BK, right? Let's talk about that. And the other thing that we need to talk about is the HIV testing. I want to ask now, but I just feel like we're not going to answer honestly in this forum. When last you get an HIV test? And this is a real question, it's not rhetorical. When last you get an HIV test? I'm not going to ask you the exact date. So just tell me, within the last 6 months, within the last year, within the last 5 years, or never, right? All right. So what Shan Trinity said 4 months ago, when I was going to get an HIV test, within the last 6 months, within the last year, within like the last 5 years or so, or never. Right? See there? I have never had one. Me like when people can talk up honestly, because it don't make sense to tell yourself lie as a family. Never had one. All right. So we have one somebody who have a HIV test 4 months ago. One somebody who said them never have a HIV test. The rest I want to tell me on there because when I looked at myself, yeah man, no word 3 months ago, 5 years, all right. I'll say 5 years. We said within the last 6 months. Sometime within the last 5 years. Yeah. Me I look for myself and I'm like, do the math, sis. Well, let's get one HIV test. The last time I had an HIV test, February this year, all right, never had one either. All right, I love how people, when them put up the something, when them have it the long time ago, them I use all of the emojis to make them know, say, hey, them just realize this, and them really, something needs to be done. Right? Jesus, close. What we missed? Well, what you missed is that I'm partnering with AIDS Healthcare Foundation for World AIDS Day. I'm going to be doing a live at 2 p.m. On December 3rd, which is Tuesday. And yeah. And we want everybody to tune in. And as a family, we're talking about the decisions we make. So I have done mine, and I'm also familiar with my status. All right. So the last time I did an HIV test, I feel like it would be about a year or two ago. Was it? Yeah, maybe a year or two ago. Because my body was acting really strange. And the doctors were like, your body is acting like a body that has recently picked up a virus. And so in order to kind of mark things off, hey B, they had to mark out all of the potential viruses. And that's why I went and did the HIV test. And I know that people are waiting on me to say, oh, but I'm fine. Or, oh, but I'm negative, or whatever. And I'm not going to say that to you. Because the fact of the matter is, my HIV status does not impact anything about my relationship with you. My HIV status doesn't impact my ability to be a vlogger. It doesn't impact my ability to be a teacher. It doesn't impact my ability to have loving, caring relationships. It doesn't impact my ability to do anything in life. So I am not going to tell you what my HIV status is, because you don't need to know that I'm HIV negative to feel like I'm okay, because I'm just as okay being HIV positive, right? And that's the first thing. One of the things that happens is we tend to wear being HIV negative as a badge of honor. Jody, right now we are talking about HIV, right? We are talking about when last we get tests and stuff. We tend to wear with being HIV negative as a badge of honor, and that's one of the things that causes people to shy away from testing, because if they suspect that they might be positive, they don't want to confirm that because they feel it's going to change their life. And not only is it going to change their life from a health perspective, it's going to change their life from the perspective that everybody is going to treat them different now, because now they're outside of that club of healthy people, right? People who are walking around HIV positive, you cannot tell, because the medical advances are as such, and the type of support that's available to them in terms of knowing how to monitor their diet, taking care of their mental health, all of those types of things. They're at a point where people are leading long and healthy lives being HIV positive, right? So recently got tested, so it go when you're up front. Yeah, right? So I want to encourage everybody to go out and get tested for HIV, and to actually make it a normal part of what you're doing with your life. So I'm due for a test, because since I got tested last, I have had new sexual partners, and I need to get tested, right? Interestingly enough, I don't test as regularly as I should, but I do have conversations with my partners about our HIV status, and that's another thing that we need to normalize. I see one girl put it up on one girl on Twitter say, people out here ask them partner about if them have other partners, and that is people. I see people that talk about that is them personal business. Hey Arif, say people should not ask them partner if them have other partner, because that is the partner personal business, who else them have sex with. And I am looking at this and I am saying, but someone put up one Twitter poll, I'm say are we out here not asking our partners about it? The majority of people them say no, me definitely ask you if you are sleep with anybody else. But me still like 1 and 2 people say no, that for them business. Me not ask them. Look here, we have to start have them conversation here. If you are in a relationship with somebody, HIV testing and knowing each other's HIV status is important. Now, this conversation is tricky because there are a lot of people that once they find out that somebody is HIV positive, they would not want to continue dating them. It's one of the reasons they shy away from the conversation. It's one of the reasons why people who are positive have a difficult time disclosing. With or wait till it become your personal business. Exactly. You think that who somebody is dating is their personal business? Wait till it become your personal business, honey. Till the business come confront you in the middle of the town, a draw down drama upon you until you have infection and all type of something there. We are not doing it. We're taking care of our mental and our physical health, right? So a lot of persons living with HIV have difficulty disclosing because of the level of stigmatization, because people are not going to want to date them anymore, because whatever. And that's why it's important that we use protection at all points in time. Right? But back to the testing, because we'll get there. So I think we need to normalize HIV testing, and I think we need to normalize the discussion about HIV testing in our relationships. It's actually a really good practice that when you are about to enter a new sexual relationship, you go and get tested before you do. Right? And you can know when you is about to enter. Yeah, sometimes look sex take you by surprise. You never expect look sex like you did attack to this muddy. I want to say, all right, we got tutti frutti go eat, and then like tutti frutti just turn in a tutti mutti, and people them up in a me and you and type of something there. So we understand that. But I think it's a good practice that when you see yourself, looking like, all right, I'm like that's muddy things are go and get tested for HIV, or actually just normalize it that you get tested every 6 months, right? You can get tested for free. How many people here know where to get a HIV test? Before me give the information, I'm going to ask that. How many people in here know where to go to get an HIV test? Right? I'm going to talk about that. I think it's important for us to normalize it. Like normalize having that conversation inside of our relationship, and normalize having that conversation with ourselves. The sooner you know your HIV status, even, if it is that you're HIV positive, the sooner that you can get on medication, the sooner you can start taking care of your body in a way that is going to kind of ensure your longevity and your quality of life, right? So it's better that you know. So I see two people, Dripping in Thickness say, I know where to get an HIV test. Reese say, I know where to get an HIV test. The rest, I don't know if I get an HIV test. All right, so Dripping in Thickness work with the Bashy Bus crew. So then you understand, say you know where to get it, because Bashy Bus is one of those places that offers HIV testing. Dripping in Thickness, tell us a little bit about where people can find the Bashy Bus in order to get testing there, right? Can just drop that information here. Me believe that should be one of the main fundamental things getting into a stable relationship. Thank God the tutti frutti in my future, no surprise. Thanks. All right, so most people here know where to get tested. I think getting tested is the most nerve-wracking thing. Like, mess up your meds, wicked tests. I go to my doctor and do the blood test, right? So, yes, HIV testing it can be quite nerve-wracking. I'm not going to tell you no lie. Like, your belly bottom, I do so. Your bottom, I do so. All type of nerves, right? So, Bashy Bus crew mobilizes all over the parishes. How do we know where to find the bus? Dripping in Thickness? How do we know where to find the Bashy Bus? Is it that we need to follow your social media page or something like that, and you will tell us where the bus is going to be? So if somebody is in this chat right now and they have an interest in getting tested, and since we now mobilize all over the parish, them say, all right, well, the testing can come to me. Because understand in Jamaica, we offer valet HIV testing. The regional health authorities, family planning board, Bashy Bus crew, they have the mobile testing unit. So the test them are going to come to your parish or your community and let them type of something there. So it is going to come to you. So Dripping in Thickness, tell us, how is it that we can know where the Bashy Bus crew will be? Is there a social media page, or do we need to call the office? If so, drop the information there, right? So yeah, we need to normalize the testing. We need to know our status and be comfortable having a discussion. Like, there's a way that when you mention HIV in a relationship setting, that things can kind of just get unsexy immediately. Like, said the HIV word, that's awkward, I don't feel sexy anymore, like I don't want to hook up and all of those types of things. But it's a part of it, right? It's a part of it. And I think that one of the things that makes people comfortable in sex is to know exactly where they are and exactly what they're working with. So you know what it is that you need to do. So you know what is the protection that you need to make for yourself, and you know what it is that you need to do to keep yourself safe. But we also need to kind of normalize having, like, using protection inside of our sexual relationships. And this is one of the places where it can get at, because a lot of us will stop using protection once we know the person, right? And so that's the other question. How long do you need to know a person before you decide that you're going to stop using the condom or stop using the dental dam with them? How long do you need to know a person before you feel you can trust them enough to stop using the condom and stop using the dental dam? Because I mean, it's a decision that most of us make, right? Me and somebody that's together for however long, my personal somebody, I feel like we're giving one another a bun, all of them type is up in there. So all right, we're gonna drop off the condom now because I just me and you are doing. How long do you have to know a person before? All right, so dripping in thickness, I don't know, maybe I'm maybe you're still typing or whatever. So you can get tested for HIV at most health centers and clinics. You can get testing for free. Testing might not be available every day, but most of the time, if you go in and you request a test, they can accommodate you. For people who don't want to get tested in the public healthcare setting, you can go to a lot of the NGO partners will offer HIV testing to you. So you can go to like JASL. I don't remember if JN Plus offers testing. So people like Bashibus Crew, I think probably like E for Life, them people there will offer HIV testing. The NGOs can get testing through them. All right, so Jody, I'm glad you raised that about the concept of a condom. No, lesbian couples need to be using condoms, and that's why I mentioned dental dam specifically, and which I'll come back to. For people who want to get tested privately, you can go to your private doctor, or in some of the pharmacies, you can get tested in the pharmacy. So I know, like for Fontana, you can go and get a HIV screening done in Fontana. They're going to use a rapid test. The rapid test is going to give you results in about 15 to 20 minutes. If it is that the test comes back and it's showing a positive result, then you will be sent to a lab in order to do the confirmatory testing. If it is that the test comes back with the negative results, then you know that you weren't exposed to HIV. There's the window period, right? So when you do an HIV test, if you contracted HIV within the last 3 months, the HIV test is not necessarily going to pick it up in your blood, right? So what the HIV test can tell you is that up to 3 months ago, you were negative. Sex that you had within the 3 months, then the HIV test is not going to tell you if you became positive in that time, which is why it's important for us to test regularly, right? All right, so let me see what I said. High versatile Taj. If you can't talk about sexually transmitted stuff, you really shouldn't be having sex. You really should not. But we can't ignore the fact that a lot of us are having sex with people that we don't have otherwise, like long-term committed relationship type things, and some of us are not going to bring that up with somebody where we only plan to have sex with one time because it makes us uncomfortable, right? So it's two things need to happen. One, we need to normalize this conversation inside of all sexual situations. We recognize that changeover is going to take some time, so then people need to be using protection at all points in time, right? All right, yeah, and you can make a request for Bashibus to come through. So if you want Bashibus to come to your office or your educational institution or to your community, then contact them and ask them to come through. You can also contact the regional health authorities and ask them if them have like a testing bus and all of them type of something there. All right, let me see. It's a tad bit different with lesbian couples, the whole concept of a condom. All right, good. Glad, Jody, I'm glad to say I bring that up. So, condoms are not the only type of protection that people need to be using, right? A condom is a barrier method. Well, a condom is a dual contraceptive method. So if it is, a person with a penis and a person with a vagina, then the condom is going to prevent against an STI, and then the condom is also going to prevent against a potential pregnancy, right? Fine. But what the condom is a barrier method, because HIV is exchanged if it is that, a person has HIV in, for example, their sexual fluids, and then it gets into the body of the other person, because the other person has some type of cut, or it's able to move through the mucous membrane, all them type of something there. So for lesbian couples, you definitely do need to be using a condom if you are using sex toys at all. And this is not just about HIV, because HIV doesn't survive for long outside of the body, but there are other STIs that couples can pass to each other because they are using sex toys. And otherwise, just because the sex toy, it's made of silicone or whatever, which should be safe, but then there is what is on top of the surface itself. So couples should be using a barrier method if they are sharing sex toys. So they should be putting a condom on the sex toy. You should not just be putting the same dildo into you and into the other smaddy and all of them type of something there. You need to wash the sex toy and care for it properly, and also you need to be putting a condom on it. So if it is that, you are the one where I deal with it right now, and you are the one who is penetrating your partner, when that toy come out of your partner and it's going at you, boom, that condom off, boom, put on a new condom. Because it don't make sense you put the condom on the sex toy and then it is you're going to take the same condom out and push it in at you. That don't make no sense, right? The other thing is a barrier method, which is like a dental dam, because people have put them out on people People are put them up on people penis, vagina, them anus, all of them thing there, right? And there's stuff that can be transmitted in that. So yeah, we need to get comfortable using dental dam, which is, basically it's like a piece of, what is it made from? It's not silicone. Is it polyurethane? It's like basically a piece of plastic, a plastic sheath that you would put it over the vagina and then, stimulate it with your tongue, or you put it over the anus and you stimulate it with your tongue to make sure that during that there is no exchange, because remember, HIV is not the only STI out there. So we're having a conversation about HIV, but there are other STIs that people can transmit, and you have to be careful, right? So we need to become more comfortable with barrier methods. And also we need to start to think about how is it that our culture of giving bun actually creates challenges, because two people could say, my step partner and I know our status, and so we are comfortable moving away from using a condom or another barrier method. That only works if people recognize that my decision to cheat, somebody just tweet me, I know me, I said tweet on you. My decision to cheat on you is not just going to affect like your emotional health or our ability to continue a relationship. Is going to affect your sexual health and your physical health, because if I cheat on you and I catch something and we are in this relationship not using condoms because me understand, say, me and you one, then whatever I catch, I'm going to pass it on to you, and I'm going to compromise your physical health. Like sometimes when we are thinking about being unfaithful, we really need to think of it more from that higher perspective. Like, this is not just about, oh, them are going to vex with me because I give them bun. This is literally, I could actually do something that's going to have long-term implications for this person's health, right? And so somebody say, if married people for use condom too, people cheat in marriages. And the challenge is, once you stop using the condom, it is very difficult to negotiate starting back. Because once the person say, oh, I'm going to ask back for the condom use, the other person say, oh, I got bun, you give me. Oh, yeah, give me bun. Because we did a walk up and down and we do it without boots. All of a sudden you want boots come back in. Yeah, give me bun, right? And I saw somebody say earlier, do you need to use condoms throughout, or when do you know you need to use a condom? When the person start acting funny. You cannot just start using the condom when the person start acting funny. The person start acting funny, it is possible that they have cheated already, and so you have been exposed to whatever it is that they have been exposed to. Remember, when you have sex with somebody, you are exposed to everything that somebody else, you're exposed to everything that the person they have. When you have sex with somebody, sometimes like I start seeing the big network in my head and then it frightens me. When you have sex with somebody, you have sex with everybody that they have had sex with, right? And you have sex that everybody that they have sex with has had sex with, and you have sex with everybody that they have sex with has had sex with. Like, it's literally like it's a sexual network, right? And that's one of the reasons why it's very important that we learn to be honest in our sexual relationships, learn to be honest with our partners. Because if you go and have sex with somebody else and you know say you and your partner don't wear boots, and you know say it's gonna cause a conversation or a fight, you just have to go accept that conversation and that fight. Because the other thing is for you to sneak and have sex with them, having had sex with somebody else, you don't know what it is that you're doing with that person. And that's one of the reasons that we say keep the condom. Just keep the condom. If you keep the condom, then you never have to have that discussion about, oh, we need to go back to the condom. But if it is that you're not using the condom and you're gonna have sex with somebody else, then be courageous enough to say to the person, we should not be having sex without a condom, no. And if it means a confrontation is a confrontation, deal with it. Like plenty people, oh, I don't want to lose a relationship. Majority of a relationship, them where you see in Jamaica, smaddy bone and them still there together. You may not lose a relationship, but you really need to consider if it is that you need to tell people you can manage a monogamous relationship, because maybe you cannot, right? Well, it's not even how long, no. Yeah, so you can't wait until the person start acting weird in order to like know when you should start using a condom, because it's all right. All right, let's see. All right, so Bashibus crew they have specific places in certain parishes on a particular day of the week. They are located at 2 Morsham Avenue. All right, so dripping in thickness, if you can drop the number or you can drop the handle for Bashibus crew, so people who are in here can get in contact with them, then that would be good. Reese say, yes, married people should. All right, see, their social media, Bashi Bus Crew. So people, if you want to get in contact with Bashi Bus Crew, then go ahead and link them there. I also encourage everybody to follow AHF Jamaica, so AIDS Healthcare Foundation Jamaica, AHF Jamaica. I encourage you to go and follow them. because they're doing a lot of very important things now. So they are the ones who are, for example, partnering with JN Plus for the World AIDS Day breakfast, partnering for the World AIDS Day run. They're the ones partnering with Western Regional Health Authority to do this activity down here. So you should really go and get to know them. So Bashibus crew, all right, thank you so much, Dripping in Thickness, for providing us with that information. So if it is that you want Bashibus crew to come to your school or your community or whatever, then link them. Also go and find out the places where they are and just go and get tested. Like juke your finger, yes, it burn a little bit, and you get your results within a 15 to 20 minutes, right? Not sure I understand the concept behind using a condom and a dildo between partners in doing the belief that your partner may be cheating, or you're just doing it because you can't tell what they are doing it out there. It's all of the above, right? So the reason that you need to use a condom on a dildo with your partner is because you don't know if your partner is being faithful. Your partner also doesn't know if you are being faithful. But also, it's because there are things that your partner can have that have nothing to do with cheating. So, for example, yeast infections. Right? People develop yeast infections because their pH goes off. They'll develop yeast infections because their vagina gets depressed. Like, literally, we just pop up with yeast infections for no reason. If the partner has a yeast infection and they're using the same condom and you want them, then you have to think about what that is to doing to your pH and your body, because literally, you take the yeast out of their body and I put it in of your body. This has nothing to do with cheating. This just has to do with the basic maintenance of your health, right? You should be using it because remember that you will have the dildo sitting there and you don't know what is happening on the dildo, separate and apart from what happens on the dildo because of your partner's body. What happens on the dildo just because the dildo is old, because it might have some little cracks, because things will tend to crack over time, because it is that, something might have settled on it, and now even if it can't grow on the dildo itself, it's growing on this thing that settled on the dildo. All of those types of things, you need to use the protection, right? You have to make enough as a part of making sure that you have kind of the most sanitary sexual experience. Then you should be putting some type of protection on it. But also, yes, all right, I did this in a video already. When you walk up and down a daytime away from your partner, their sexual organ is not in your bag. It is not in your purse. It is not in your billfold. It is not in your wallet. It is not in your pocketbook. It's not there, right? You don't know what your partner is doing in the same way that your partner doesn't know what you are doing. Me saying this is not to say that, your relationship is failing or you can't trust people. It is to say that being human is complicated and messy, and a lot of times we end up in situations that we had never planned for, even with the best of intention, even while loving our partners. Sometimes infidelity happens in relationships because there is something that needs to be fixed in the relationship and we haven't figured it out how to say to the person. Sometimes you love your partner, but your partner is not affectionate. You want affection. In pursuit of this affection, you end up having sex with somebody else, pursuing that affection. Now, if you had figured out how to say to your partner, I need more affection from you, or if your partner had figured out how to be the type of affectionate person that you need them to be, or if your partner had figured out how to get whatever that affection gives to them without entering into a sexual contract with somebody else, you wouldn't be in that situation. But people cheat for different reasons, right? Sometimes people cheat because they need the ego validation. Sometimes people cheat because they're in the relationship and they've been in the relationship so long that they start to feel invisible. It's as though they don't exist outside of this relationship, and so they go and cheat as a way to find themselves, a version of themselves that has nothing to do with you. And having cheated with the guilt and with the love and with the clarity that you are the one that they need, they are going to carry that body that they cheated with back to you. And that is one of the reasons why we need to normalize the condom use, so that when people go through what it is that they go through in the course of their relationship, you can make sure that the thing that changes in your relationship is how the two of you interact with each other, but not your seropositive status, as in whether you're HIV positive or negative. Right? So let's try to make sure that when we're working through what we're working through in our relationships, we don't add things that we have to sort through, and that's why we need to normalize it. But other than that, like most people, like your dildo sitting in there dry, probably wrap up in a something somewhere, you probably have one box where you put it in and whatever. Like, we really should be. And like you really wouldn't want a person to be using them penis and push it in a bag of people and then come push it in a you. So you don't want people to do that with the dildo. And I know that, oh, you can just buy a new one all the time. But no, right? It's important. And that's why we should think about using other barrier methods as well. I mean, in an ideal world, what we should be using is a condom if there's any type of penetration, a dental dam if there's any type of oral contact, and a finger cut. Because a lot of us don't think about it. A lot of us work with paper. And we have paper cuts all the time. And you are going to take the paper cut finger and push it in a somebody picnic. There is a cut there, right? A lot of us, like, our finger quit right here, so we always a bite it off, we always a gnaw it off. If you look right here, so you see them look a piece of skin will lift up on all of them something. We don't think about those things, right? Because it's just, oh, I just say your finger stay, you go get your cuticle push back and all of them type of thing. A lot of times there's blood, there's breakages in our skin, and we're putting that hand on and in people's bodies, and we don't think about those things. Like, we really need to become more serious. And so, like, you can get the condoms for free from the NGOs, from the healthcare centers and the clinics and all of those types of things. You can sometimes offer access dental dams from the NGOs. You might find it more easily from the NGOs than from the public health settings, but sometimes they will have them. The finger cuts, you can get them for sale in the pharmacy, right? It's like understanding that safety in sex does not kill the passion. Actually, safety in sex, like when say you're safe and you're secure, at them time you can go on with anything where you want to go on with. You don't have no limit on where you can go on with, because say anywhere you go you are covered. And remember, HIV is not the only STI out there, right? And remember that there are other STIs that can increase your vulnerability to HIV. So if it's a STI that's going to cause, like, for you to have any little cut, any sore, anything that causes you to have an itch, so you might be scratching the area, right? All of them something there, they're going to break your skin, they're going to increase your vulnerability. Like, we have to take them things as serious, right? HPV is linked to cervical cancer, right? We have to take them things as serious. Like, your sexual health is a part of your general health. So I have to get serious about with sexual health. And I get what I say? That's why I'm a hand on my side chick. Yeah, we don't think about what else comes with cheating. And I think why we need to come to a place where we can have more frank and open conversations with our partners about our needs in a moment. But in most instances, we're terrified that the relationship is going to end. So we try to find a way to get what we need without losing the person. And a lot of times what we end up doing is cheating on the person, right? Or getting it behind the person's back. Because when we signed up, we said, oh, I'm clear and I want you and I want only you. And we feel, say, if we change and go say something else, then this man I go left with. Yes, the person might decide to leave you, but the fact of the matter is, if what the person feels is they only want somebody who wants them and only them, and you are no longer in a space to be that person, then you are no longer the right person for them. Maybe you need to take some space from one another. Them go do what them need to do for themselves, and you go do what you need to do it for yourself, right? And the other thing is, yes, we need to have conversations with our partners about who they're sleeping with. And we need to be honest in those conversations, regardless of how uncomfortable it becomes, because it's people's health on the line. And I'll tell you a story. I went through a phase where I was very sick, just sick, and my body just popped down, and something always wrong with me. Is it a fable that lesbians are far less at risk for STDs and HIV contractions? So lesbians are at lower risk, but they are not no risk, right? Especially because lesbians are having penetrative sex and lesbians are using sex toys. And if you are using sex toys without condoms, then you're at risk. It's a fable. Lesbians are not in this low risk group where they're not doing anything. Lesbians are putting their mouth pan people vagina. Them a put them on in a people vagina. Them a put them vagina pan people vagina. It's no. There's a lot of exchange. And then the other thing to remember is that lesbians are liable to be having sex with each other when there is menstrual blood in the area. Right? So no, lesbians need to be as careful as everybody else needs to be in terms of the sex that they're having. They definitely need to be. And I mean, lesbian sex goes on for like 6 hours. Like, straight sex is going to be done in 20 minutes. Lesbian sex is going to go on for 6 hours, because I don't know what it's about lesbians, but they just seem to have a lot of energy and like 55 orgasms in them. So no, lesbians definitely need to be taken care. We need to move away from this idea that, oh, I'm safe because I'm with a girl. No. right? It's a no because a lot of women are bisexual, and it's a no because even if women are only having sex with women, a lot of stuff can pass because women are in the presence of each other's sexual fluids a lot. They're giving each other head, and not just head, just like the very intense type of head. People are having rough sex with the dildos and all of them type of thing there. So no, we're at, like, lesbians are at risk, right? Everybody is at risk. And it's the thing that I wish people would get over, where they're like, oh, because I only have this type of sex. No, we are at risk. It don't matter what type of sex you're having. The hunger type of sex that is not going to put you at any type of risk is abstinence. Or self-sex, masturbation. Masturbation doesn't put you at risk. However, mutual masturbation with a partner, we're at risk. And I mean, then other things come up, like, for example, anal sex. But people like to think, oh, it's only gay men that are having anal sex. We're having anal sex. We're out here having anal sex. The straights are having the anal sex. The gay men are having the anal sex. The lesbians are having the anal sex. People need to be taking care of themselves when they're having anal sex. You need to make sure that there's lubricant. Like, one of the things that we don't think about is we need lubricant, right? And some people feel like, oh, you know, if you need lubricant, then something wrong because you're dry and you're not or if you need lubricant, something wrong because it's not enough stimulate you, right? Sometimes your vagina just doesn't make that much juice, and that's okay. And you shouldn't put off having sex because your vagina is not making that much juice. Get it? We should really normalize the use of lubricant, because a lot of times what people gonna do is they're gonna use spit, right? And yes, it's sexy and all of them type of something there, but also, like, una have sex right after una have fried chicken and like oiling on the mouth and all of them something, and that's a go compromise the condom and all of them something, right? So let's just get in the habit of using lubricant, right? And then if you're having anal sex, then you definitely need to be using lubricant, because the anus is not self-lubricating. You get what I say? So, like, I could just come to the fact that we are big people and we are having the sex, and we need to just do the things that we need to do to have the sex nicely and comfortably, and so we can enjoy it and stop worrying about things. Like, some of the things that people are considering as, you know, sex with impact is actually just sex with dryness and all of these things. Some people count on me for turn someone else. I have not done anything here to turn anybody off. I understand that we like to feel like having frank and open discussion about what can happen inside of sex is a big turn off. It is not a big turn off. Nothing is sexier than knowing exactly what is going on with you and exactly what is going on with your partner, so no one can flourish and exalt in yourself without any dark spot. Me, I am done equating mystery with passion. I am not doing it anymore. Me not buy no pussy in a bag. Me must know where me there and you must do where you there, so everybody know them boundary there, and in the space that we have, we can go as far as we want. Right? Me not do it. But yes, of course, it feel away when, well, I mean, for people sometimes, like, when you have to actually have the discussion about the mechanics of sex, like, it doesn't feel great, right? Because we just want to feel, oh, we just gotta run to one another and do whatever. I get it. If people are in a committed relationship and they are only having sex with each other, then there's that. But how many of us can guarantee that? Right? And because we're not in the habit of speaking honestly to each other, and because humans are complex, and telling a person that you love something that you think will hurt them is difficult, then we need to just account for that. Like, we need to stop acting as though we are good at telling somebody when we've cheated on them or anything that we feel is going to make them uncomfortable. We are not good at it because we don't want to hurt their feelings. We love them and we don't want to hurt their feelings, right? It's just facts that we need to do it. Right? And I mean, people thought I'd be like, oh, you know, we should just like, you know, just you push in the head and then you take it back out and you put in the condom. Stop putting the head in. First of all, you can get pregnant from pre-cum. Second of all, you can get HIV from pre-cum. So stop pushing the head in and then taking it out to put on back the condom. Right? And most people not going to push your head in and just leave the head. They're going to put in the rest because it's nice when you go in there. So just put on the condom from start. And people are going to be like, oh, I'm allergic to condoms. Most people are not allergic to condoms. You're allergic to the lubricant and a particular brand of condom. So just try another brand. Right? No heads enter my kachuka. Right? Just try another brand, because oftentimes you're allergic to the lubricant on that particular brand of condom. Or if you are actually allergic to latex, then there are other brands that you can get. Like in Jamaica right now, you have Skin, SKYN. It's non-latex, a non-latex condom, and it's actually really nice. I tend to use them because I find that latex can sometimes make my skin feel a little weird. They are more expensive than the latex condom, but they're really nice. And then there's the female condom, right? And I know that like the regional health authorities and stuff and family planning or whatever, I think they have a new female condom that they're trying out. It's a little bit different from the other one, and you can try that out as well. The female condom will warm up to the temperature of the person, right? It's polyurethane based. It will warm up to the temperature of the person once it goes inside them. So the female condom, with the male condom, you put the condom onto the penis, right? With the female condom, no, I'm not a virgin. Yes, my mother is in the kitchen cooking dinner. Actually, I feel like my mother is somewhere over this shoulder. She might actually be listening to this whole thing. Poor thing. So the female condom actually goes into the person's body, right? Like, so it goes into the person's body and it basically forms a sheath over the vagina, like inside of the vagina, and then it's penetrated. And what will happen is it will actually warm up to the temperature of the vagina, right? And I haven't tried out any of the new ones. I'm not really having much of the sex right now. I'm functionally asexual, and that's okay. Sometimes you're asexual and there is nothing wrong with being asexual, right? Is there anything else that I want to tell you now? Because I feel like this live is going to end soon. So remember that I'm going to be live. That I won't do. I have a sex combo with my mother around. Well, what I do is I traumatize my mother by dropping off information that she definitely doesn't want. Like yesterday, I was in the kitchen with her and I just randomly started explaining to her how my libido is low and how I'm not interested in sex right now and how it's just so weird for me because usually I move like I have white liver. And she was like, right? Because the fact of the matter is I'm 37. And there's nothing wrong with the fact that I'm having sex. So it's weird the first couple of times that you do it. And I mean, clearly, I'm still not trying to sit down with my mother and like give her all the details. But at some point, we have to stop moving so skittish about the sex and just like deal with the facts that, yeah, we're out here to do it. I want to do it to the best of our ability because we're overachievers and we want to achieve success, right? And we just do what we have to do with ourselves. So please remember, on Tuesday at 2 p.m. I'm gonna be going live from the World AIDS Day event in Sam Sharp Square in Montego Bay. If you are in Montego Bay or you are in the Western region, then come on down to the square. I'm going to be there. We can talk in person. If you know anybody who is on this side who might be interested, come down, let them go to the booths. If they want, they can get tested. They can get their free condoms and, all of the other little commodities where you need to make sure say your sex life is braffing. And they can also meet me. I'm going to be they give me a little air conditioning tent called the Chill Spot. And I'm going to be there. So, come through. But if you can't get there in person, then just tune into the live at 2 o'clock. I'm going to be putting up some polls between now and then. I live on this side of the world. This is so funny, right? People, I want you to notice this moment that has just happened. Remember all people always about say, why is everything in Kingston? Nothing is ever down here. No, I am this side of the world. I'm getting cussed because I'm in this side of the world and I don't come to Kingston. I actually come to Kingston and I do work in Kingston. Like I do hosting work and moderating work in Kingston. And if there's a group of people from to put together a group and they say, all right, Carla, come meet with that day, yeah, in that place, no come. But I guess what I can do is probably publicize when I'm hosting and doing other things in Kingston more so people can come out. I will make a note to be better at the social media and please just remind me to be better. All right, some say 1 minute and 57 now, say it's not going to give me all the ways, right? So, so come through on Tuesday to the World AIDS Day event. If not, tune into the live. I'm gonna be putting up some polls and we can check in and whatever and get some other information about where we are. But in the meantime, please get tested. There's free testing available all over the place, right? And please have a conversation with your partner, and please let's stop lying to ourselves. Some of us are lying to ourselves that fidelity is like a make or break thing, a lot of us will accept 2 incidents of cheating in the relationship. If it's not make or break, let me be honest with yourself about that. Let's please get to the place where we are honest with each other and we can allow people to be honest with us, right? And please, before you go out there and have sex with somebody else and then put yourself and your partner in an awkward situation, tell your partner what you need, right? So you don't go out and get there. And if you're afraid to know your status because you suspect that you might be positive, please understand that there is a lot of support that is available. It's not like one time hit a hero. It's not like back in the day when it was a death sentence. That is not the situation anymore. You can live a long and happy life. Otherwise, thank you for sticking with me and sharing with me, because when you really come share honesty. Remember, even if you're having a lesbian sex, you still have to be using your protective devices, because when you is at risk like everybody else. Hey Rocky, all right, so love, peace and chicken grease. We're gonna reconvene on Tuesday at 2. I'll be coming to you lives, right, from Sam Sharp Square down here in Guntigo Bay, Galtigo Bay, Mantigo Bay. If you know the people them said them, be good to each other, and most importantly, be good to yourself. I love you.